Hello everyone. Can you guys remember the last time I did a cut crease? Like a true cut crease? Because I think it's been what feels like a year. Watch it be like a couple videos back, but I just don't remember the last time. Like I'm even gonna be pulling out the tape today. Like it's gonna be the whole thing. So I'm a little nervous since it has been a while, but I think I can do this. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in so you guys can get a closer look at my eyes and we'll get started. To start us off, I did prep my eyes with the NYX primer that I always use. And now I'm just adding some tape. I've honestly been trying to do this for like 5 minutes now, but the hardest thing with this is just making sure that you get both sides even, but once that's done, like it's pretty straightforward from here. I think those are even, but I always say that and then there's always one that's just off. But I think I'm gonna have to move on because if not, I'll never get anywhere. Now for my main lid shade, I'm gonna be using this shadow right here, which I believe I used in that like denim video I had done, and I loved it so much and that I was like, okay, I need to use this again. So that's the end goal. So I'm going to start off the crease with something a little lighter just to help act as a background for all of my other shadows. And since I will be cutting the crease, it really doesn't matter how sloppy you get with this, but it's still something I'm going to be a little cautious of. That way the cleanup won't have to be too intense. As I'm applying the shadow, I am holding my brush further back. This is going to allow for a much smoother and more of that like airbrushed application. I say this a lot, mainly to act as a reminder for myself, but of course also for you guys, because it really does make such a difference to an eye look. And like sometimes I guess almost get like a little too fixated on what I'm doing to the point where I'm like holding the brush up to here that it then looks just too harsh. I'm gonna switch up my brush to one like this. I mentioned it in, I think it was like my last video, that this reminds me of like a blending brush and flat eyeshadow brush merged into one, and I really was enjoying it in my previous makeup look. So I want to use it again today because I feel like it's gonna do a really nice job of getting into that crease and making it as clean as possible. I'm gonna be using a warm toned brown to help build up these shadows. And with this shadow, I'm also taking the opportunity to kind of create a new eye shape. So I'm making sure that I'm keeping this a tad bit higher than my actual crease. That way I have a little more lid space to work with. I don't want to go into a black just yet. I want to see how dark I can get the crease just by using browns. Just because I'm a little scared to use a black in my crease. I use a tiny brush like so, and I'm gonna dip into a really deep brown and see how this looks against the other shades we have down. Wow, I think that looks actually so good. I am gonna stick with that and continue with the other eye. Okay, now I'm taking a clean fluffy brush and I'm just gently running that over what we did. I don't want these colors to blend into one solid. I just want to like create a more diffused look between them. I am gonna do black, I think. Oh, do I want to do that? But I think it would look so good. Okay, I am. I do have a very small pencil brush that I think will help me get as clean of a crease as I humanly can with a black eyeshadow. Okay, hopefully this doesn't mess it all up. I'm really hardly picking up any product onto the brush. I just want like the smallest amount of definition here. See how it just gives like a little more? That's exactly what I wanted. Now to clean this up, I'm gonna take eye primer and I'm using a flat concealer brush. And when cutting the crease, I like to start from the inner and work my way to the outer lid. I feel like this is a good shape that I have going on because it definitely widens up my lid space and it's also opening up this inner corner. I think I like that. I'm gonna go ahead and add the shadow to this one first and then I'll do the other one. I just don't want the primer to get too dry. We're gonna go in with that eyeshadow I showed in the beginning, that nice blue black. I just think it's gonna look super beautiful as the primary shade. I am swapping my brush to something more precise. That way I can get right up into that crease. Now I feel like I need to connect where that shimmer meets the mattes. So again, going in with that pencil brush and running over that line. I'm gonna wrap up this eye and then I'll do the other one off camera. All I need is a little black wing. Okay, let's see. I mean, that is definitely something. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, amazing. I'm gonna, like I said, do this eye and then we'll come back to it. Okay, here we have the other eye done and I feel like they're looking really good, so I'm getting really excited about this. I did want to see how I could kind of amp it up just an extra little level. I have this E.L.F palette and I thought that this shade right here would be really complementary to this, and I just added it right to that center and I feel like it made the shadow look even better. Like, that looks so pretty. Now for my waterline, I do have this pencil from Essence in the shade Black Midnight Sky, and it kind of has like blue little flecks. I don't even know if it's gonna pick up on camera, but it is basically this eyeshadow in a pencil, so I think it's only fitting that I use it for this, but I'm gonna quickly do this because I really can't, like, I don't like having this on camera. It grosses me out. Okay, it honestly like looks just black on camera, but in person you can like tell there's just like those little itty bitty specks. And now I'm just gonna do a quick little mascara and then add my falsies. Okay, these are the eyes as of right now. I am gonna add like an inner corner and just a very simple lower lash line, but I think we're safe to move on to the skin. So let me zoom you out and let's get going. Now, starting out with primer, if you've watched any of my videos, I'm sure you already know what I'm going in with. This is the E.L.F Power Grip and the E.L.F Putty Primer. I'm gonna do some of the E.L.F Halo Glow. I have mine in the shade Fair. And the nice thing about these is that you have a little bit of wiggle room because they're not super pigmented. The only thing that you would really have to be careful is to just make sure that you don't get a cast. So I would say maybe like the shade below or above is good, but like anything more could kind of be a little funky. I haven't used the JUVIA'S foundation in a while because it's not my shade at the moment. Like, I'm very, very pale, but I'm not going anywhere right now, so I think we'll be okay. And with concealer as well, like, I'll be sure to get it as close as I can. Okay, but that is really, really tan actually. Okay, well, we're gonna be adding a lot of concealer. Before I do concealer, I'm gonna do some liquid contour. This is the MILANI one, of course. And I'm not gonna go super heavy given that the foundation is already pretty dark for me. Now for concealer, we're gonna do the one from LA Girl. This is in the shade Cool Nude. Once we got all of that blended, we can go ahead and set the face. I'm gonna start out with a pressed powder just to really lock everything in, and then I'll go in with a loose one later on. For bronzer, I'm gonna use the one from ALAMAR. I've really been trying to work through this one, mainly because that way I can buy myself a new one and be like, it's justified. And now for this, I'm just swirling both of those deeper shades. Wow, okay. And yeah, I'm just adding that right onto my cheeks. I'm also just gonna take that onto the forehead, jawline, and nose. Now taking a bit of loose powder to help clean up any lines. And while that's baking, I'm gonna take a bit of brown to smoke out the lower lash line. Okay, let's test this red on off. For blush, I'm gonna take the duo from E.L.F. This is Spiced Apple. And we're gonna add this right onto our cheeks and brush a tad on the nose. Now for highlight, I'm gonna take the shade Beam from Beauty Bay and add this to the normal high points of my face, but also in the inner corners. Now for lips, I don't want to define them. I just want something very plain, but very cute. Okay, this is the NYX Butter Gloss in Peanut Brittle. And there we go. This is the final look. You guys, I am so proud of myself. I had this idea in my head and I was just like, oh, I really hope I can make this happen. And I feel like I did. And just knowing that it's been a really long time since I've done something this intense, it just like makes me even more happy to know that it actually turned out pretty well. But I would love to know what you guys think. Are you guys into this shadow? Is it too dark? This kind of reminds me of like, what is it called that people have been saying? Like it's like intimidated or like unapproachable makeup look. Is that what it is? Yeah, I think that's what it is. Whatever it is, best believe I'm gonna title this video that, because I feel like this kind of falls in line with that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and had a good time. I hope to see you very soon in the next video, whenever that is. And yep, that's pretty much it. Bye. What?